Hello and welcome to Healing Inspiration. I am Ramona and today's reading is what is the gossip about your social media? And today I've already pulled the charms, and so I have those here, and I'm going to introduce your piles in a moment, and then we'll get into your readings. First, I want to talk about if you would like a personal private reading. I have an Etsy shop. You can find that link in the description box. If you would like to give a donation to my channel, a gift of any amount would be appreciated to help me to continue to create content. And I have a Cash App and PayPal for that. And I am having a giveaway. Once I reach 3,000 subscribers, I will be giving away 2 free 1-question readings. And that's for whoever follows the instructions in the description box. And then I will randomly choose 2 people from whoever enters, and we'll contact them and give you a choice of question. And finally, if there is a reading that you want that isn't at the Etsy shop exactly, you can send me an email and we can talk about pricing on that reading. So yeah, I'm going to introduce your piles and get into your reading. Pile 1, we have Co-Create, card number 40, and that is from the Wisdom of the Oracle. And then we have pile number 2, which is Between Worlds, card number 3. And pile 3 is card number 41, Soulmates. So go ahead and choose your pile or piles and we'll get into your reading. If you chose the Co-Create card, we're going to get into your charms after we talk about the cards, and just going to introduce the cards and get into your reading. So you have card number 40, Co-Create. From the Psychic Tarot, you have card number 6, Harmony or Love. So that's the Lovers. And then you have card number 2, Mental Conflict, which is the 2 of Swords. Card number 2, Sacral Chakra. Card number 5, Emotional Loss, which is like the 5 of Cups. From the Shine From Inside Oracle, we have Change One Thing Today, Start Small. Next, we have Tune Into Your Inner Peace. Step out of your comfort zone and try something new. And then we have Journal It Out, Write How You Feel. From the Archetype deck, we have Don Juan, spotlights your positive, seductive qualities. Shadow attribute, using the power of romantic attraction for private agendas. Next, we have Exorcist, light attribute, freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. And the shadow is fear of facing your own demons. Then we have Pioneer, passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. Shadow is compulsive need to keep moving on. Next, we have Child Magical, light attributes, seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. Shadow attributes, pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles, believing that energy and action are not required for growth. I typically don't point out the shadow attributes of these cards unless if it's relevant. All right, so what is the gossip about your social media? first thing, because you did choose the co-create card, and then you have pioneer, as well as step out of your comfort zone and try something new. So I do feel like you may be trying something new, and I'm feeling for a lot of you, maybe you're selling something, creating a business, maybe you have a new social media account, just trying something different than you did before. And I do feel this could be a lot in the realm of business. Maybe you could be having a channel that promotes organization, journaling, list making. Maybe you could talk about some of that stuff on your channel. Maybe you're trying to get more organized in your own life and going a different direction than you did before. And with that also, you could be having some new collaborations, and that may show up on your social media, or new friendships or things that people are saying that you're doing. If you do happen to have a social media platform, more than just for socialization, for your, to be an influencer or YouTuber or whatever you're doing. Some of you may actually have someone working for you now, maybe doing some editing, or maybe you could have a sponsor, something like that. So that's something that people would be talking about with you. We have 2 2s here. So you may be going in 2 separate directions with whatever you're doing, like doing 2 distinct things within your social media. Maybe use it for both personal and business, or you have 2 different accounts. And people also are talking about, if you were in a relationship and you broke up, that's something they would be talking about, because we have the Lovers, but we have the mental conflict, which is difficulty in making a decision, and we have 2 2s, and then the 5 of Cups. Also, another possibility, some of you may have lost a loved one of any sort and have heartbreak over that, or disappointment, or a loss of some type of a relationship that has left your life, or that you've needed to end for your own health. And people would be talking about that if you post about that. Like it says here, exorcist, freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. And oftentimes with the 2 of Swords, I also think someone who's, well, it does say mental conflict. And usually the 2 swords are covering, and with him down here, he's covering these 2 feathers. So I think partnerships are very important for you, since you do have the Lovers and you have all of these 2s, and people see you partnering, whether romantically or in the business world. People feel like you can easily get a relationship. I'm hearing that you could get whoever you want. That's what people feel from your social media. They think you're very sexy, attractive, and desirable. And like here, it says, spotlight your positive, seductive qualities. So maybe you are someone who dates around. Maybe you're dating several people. Not saying you're cheating on anybody. You're just like sowing your wild oats, so to speak, and really getting out there, exploring yourself, exploring relationships and partnerships, and really learning how to integrate with other people. It feels like you have a lot of drive and enthusiasm, and I feel like you are partnering with people who have skills that are different than yours in order to make something bigger and better. There's a lot about love here. So people definitely talk about your relationships. And like I said, if you date around and things like that, they may talk about that. Or if you've recently ended a relationship, gotten out of a relationship, or have had a loss of a person. People talk about that as well. But they do see you making steady progress in whatever ventures you're doing. So if you're like working on fitness goals, they see you moving towards that. They see you making progress. If you're working on your business, they see progress, step-by-step progress. And it feels like they talk about that. It seems like you're someone who has a plan, that you're doing something new, you're growing, you're manifesting, and in spite of your difficulties, that you seem to be very zen and maintaining your inner peace. Some of you could be into, I'm feeling a lot of dance. I'm feeling native dance, because this dude is dancing. And as I look at this picture, I'm thinking of like native dances, like for rituals kind of dancing, like dancing around a fire, or like, because he's holding, I don't know what they call it. It's kind of like a maraca, and then feathers. A lot of times in healing ceremonies or to exorcise demons, or negative spirits, they use those things. So maybe you're someone who does use music to cleanse your energy. Yeah, there is a very zen vibe here, though, because it's talking about tune into your inner peace. And even though it says step out of your comfort zone and try something new, she looks very zen about it. Like she's just feeling the air on her face, and her eyes are closed, and she's just doing it. And you have pioneer there. So it feels like with the sacral chakra, you're following your passions. So whatever your passions are, you're following your heart. You're not afraid to try something new. I am feeling some vibes of like the Fool energy. We have Gemini. We have Gemini in writing. So some of you may write stories, or even write about your own feelings and your experiences. And I think that actually does bring some magic to people and some encouragement to people in their own difficulties. I think some people may talk about your nails. If you have nice nails, nice hands, lips, that you have juicy, kissable lips. And with Child Magical, I really feel like it's you stepping into a new phase. It says, seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. So if you were at a position in your life where you were indecisive, you weren't sure what to do, struggled with letting go of old things, old habits, beliefs, ways of thinking, that you're really stepping into this new magical energy. It's like that Fool energy of, like taking that risk, starting that new path in your life. It's like a whole new journey. It feels like something very recently or will very soon change your life completely. Like you're either changing careers, changing relationships, or going from being in a relationship to single, or vice versa, single to being in a relationship, or having a child. Something that significantly changes your life, not just necessarily something little. Even though people are seeing you make progress and improvement, it's like you're doing something new with the pioneer, passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. And I feel like that's something in your heart to do, and you're doing it. And people see that and see you taking that chance and see you stepping into the magic. Okay, so let's get to your charms. So we have this cute little poodle. And what I think about poodles is they're usually well coiffed. I think that's a word. So I think you can, and they look kind of fancy. So I think to people, you probably look fancy. Maybe you do up your hair, your outfits or something. Maybe you dress up and show that off on social media, because I do think the way a poodle is groomed, it like really stands out in that way. And it doesn't have to be groomed that way, you know, it's just for it to look like a cute poodle. People think you're very brave for like whatever you've been through, or, you know, maybe you are telling your story, which I think some of you are telling your story or storytelling, and people find you brave for that. And I'm hearing come out of the closet, so some of you may have, you know, come out of the closet about something about who you are. That, I mean, it could be mental health, it could be sexual orientation or identity. And she believed she could, so she did. So you may have had things that seemed like they were against you, where you couldn't do certain things, but you've proved them wrong. And you believe in the impossible here, the belief that everything is possible. So I think you bring that magic to people through your social media. Then we have the bird. And I'm hearing, you know, a singing bird. So you may sing for some of you, or you do have a bird, or you're like coming into a new sense of freedom, and people see that. Then you have follow your heart, which we were talking about. It does feel like you are following your heart, you're following your passions. Every journey starts with one step, which is interesting because it says, change one thing today, start small. So it's like that step-by-step progress that people see you achieving. And then we have that heart, love, and I feel like you are living from your heart. You're living from a place of love, and people see that as well. We have love and follow your heart, and we have the lovers. We have brave, and we also have fearless. And like I said, that fool energy, and the fool is fearless. He doesn't really feel like anything can harm him. It's the beginning of his journey, and he's ready to jump off the cliff, no questions asked. And then finally we have the crown. So people see you stepping into your divinity, into your royalty, your honor, your respect, you know, becoming that king or queen of your own life. So that is what I have for you, pile number 1. If that resonated with you, please like and comment with a heart. Subscribe to my channel if you have not yet. And if you like that personal private reading, you can take a look at my Etsy shop or send me an email. I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day or evening wherever you are in the world. And I thank you so much for coming to my channel. Hi, Pile 2, and welcome to your reading. This is your reading if you chose this card, card number 3, Between Worlds. And I'm going to introduce the cards, get into your reading, and at the end, we'll talk about the charms. From the Psychic Tarot, we have card number 4, Rest and Rejuvenate. So that's like the 4 of Swords. Card number 20, Truth, Judgment. Card number 7, Deception and Envy. That's like the 7 of Swords. Then we have Triumphant Success, the Ace of Swords. From the Shine from the Inside Oracle, we have Believe in Yourself, Unleash Your Inner Unicorn. Next, we have Create Your Own Happiness. And you are perfectly beautiful. And slow down and rest. You need it. Apparently that's a message. Excuse me. From the archetype deck, we have Child Orphan. Independence based on learning to go it alone. Conquering fear of surviving. In the shadow, we have feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation. Seeking inappropriate surrogate families. From the same deck, we have Child Eternal. Determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit. Ability to see things with fresh eyes. Shadow attribute. Inability to grow up and be responsible. Extreme dependency on others for physical security. Then we have Midas Miser. The light is entrepreneurial or creative ability to turn anything to gold. Delight in sharing life's riches. The shadow is hoarding money and emotions. Obsessive fear of losing your wealth. And then finally we have Saboteur. The light is highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. And the shadow induces self-destructive behavior or the desire to undermine others. All right. What is the gossip about your social media? I feel like in the past, there was like a cloud over you. Like things seemed like two-dimensional, maybe boring, or there was some lack of vitality or lack of color. And I'm just saying that because of the visual on this card, where it's like things are in black and white. And that could also mean that you had black and white thinking, like it's either or. And I feel like you are looking for the magic in the color and the hues and the differences in, you're looking for the magic in life. You're appreciating things more. You're being more grateful about things. And your life is becoming more colorful. And people at least see that, or that is what your social media has betrayed. And it's like you are really coming to life, coming out of your shell, like being born again. You are expanding and being enriched and enlightened. And I feel like things are coming more to life. And that's what people see in your social media, which is pretty cool. And then here we have the Four of Swords with rest and rejuvenate, and slow down and rest. You need it. So you may have taken a rest, and people know that. Maybe you've taken a sabbatical, some spiritual retreat, or some just personal retreat to get yourself in order, get things, rest, relax, heal, cleanse your energy, indulge yourself, pray, meditate. Just working on yourself. So maybe you did take a bit of a hiatus from social media. Maybe you felt it was being toxic for you in your life, just too much of it. Maybe you took a break from news or anything like that, just so you could take care of yourself and take care of your own mental and emotional health and not be concerned about what's going on in the world, the things that you can't control. And instead you got to a place with yourself to find your own personal truth and what you can do and what you have the power to change and what you have the power to affect in this world. And I feel like you have a magical effect. And I keep on saying magic, and because I keep on seeing the unicorn, and the unicorn is a mythical creature and magical. And she also has like a witchy cape on. Some of you may do that. Or you may be getting into unicorns and rainbows and butterflies. We have butterflies here, and we also have a butterfly that he's trying to catch right there, that little child. So I think you may be getting in touch with your inner child, or even, if you're an adult or something, that you're playing with toys. There's nothing wrong with that. Getting some toys, getting some video games, having fun, not taking life so seriously. Because we have two children that show up in your archetype, child orphan and child eternal. So from this, I do feel that you may have had, maybe a childhood where you couldn't be a child, and now you're embracing childhood again in your adulthood. Like, you're allowing yourself the freedoms you didn't have as a child. You're allowing yourself to relax. You're allowing yourself to discover who you are, to see the magic, to play, to, discover nature, flowers, bugs, butterflies, bees. And they're flying, So it goes from this poor little orphan child, that lack of color, sadness, maybe, had to take on more responsibility. And with this, feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. And when I'm thinking about that, is maybe you got into with the wrong crowd. Because typically a lot of people who go into gangs and things like that, not saying you were in a gang, maybe some of you were, but they do seek those people who are going to accept them and love them and it feel like a family. And sometimes those family structures aren't necessarily healthy, those surrogate families that we try to find in, for example, a gang. But it feels like you're coming out of that. You're not just surviving, you're thriving, because you've gotten really in touch with who you are in your own truth. And I do feel like you've had an awakening. And we really have this awakening energy in the between worlds. And people see the difference. It's like you're more vibrant. It's like going from black and white to in color. Like going from a black and white television to a color television in 4D, 5D, I don't know. And I don't think you're seeing things in black and white anymore. You see things in all different shades now. Some of you may have gotten glasses too, or contacts. Maybe you physically see better at this time. This is create your own happiness, and I feel like you're doing that. You're being unapologetic about what makes you happy. If what makes you happy is running around like a freaking unicorn, like that, in a cape, chasing after butterflies, you're going to do that. You're going to have friends, and you have friends and people who will join in with you, not judge you and say, oh, what are you doing? Only kids do that. Take things seriously, I realize there's some things to take seriously in life, but I really feel like you could be searching the stars as well, into astrology, into the moon cycles, and really tapping into that energy, and that's really getting you in the flow, in the vibe. And people see that new flow and that new vibe within you, and you coming to life. It's like you're coming to life. It's like that born again energy. It's very interesting. And now we come to the Seven of Swords, deception and envy. And what I'm really seeing with this is he's taking off his mask. I mean, he looks a little bit pensive about doing it, but he's taking off his mask and he's not hiding behind it anymore. And I feel maybe that's what's going on with you too. You're like, I don't give a shiz what people think, like that. And I'm going to take off my mask, be who I am, speak my truth, communicate my truth, just be me. And if people are envious or jealous, and I do think you probably have some people that are envious and jealous since this comes up, you know, but you are just not caring. You're taking off your mask. And here, I feel whatever you're doing is really promoting the beauty of others here. Like being comfortable within your body and showing yourself and not giving a shiz if people judge you or envious or jealous. You're just going to do you and make you happy. You're finding your own happiness and creating your own happiness outside of what the rest of the world does. And now, since you're in that authentic energy that people, at least this is what people are seeing, it's like whatever you're touching is turning to gold, like Midas here. It's like golden because you're doing it from a very true place. You're not hiding yourself anymore. It almost does feel like you were hiding before. At least that was the perception of some other people. And it's interesting too, because we have green here and green here in the Seven of Swords. And I do feel like that's an emergence of your heart chakra. Some of you, maybe you had a closed heart chakra because of things that happened earlier in your life. And you didn't want to let things in. You didn't want to let people in. You didn't want to imagine anything. Maybe you wanted to stay out of your head. But it's like now your heart chakra is reawakening. You're gaining new confidence. You're gaining strength from within, from your connection to spirit, from your connection even to the physical realm, as much as the, spiritual realm, because I do see astrology going on here. She has moon and stars here. He's like in outer space. I think you may have had a really good imagination and still do, but definitely as a child. And I think your imagination may be, still that childlike imagination, which is very expansive, A lot of people, as we get older, we're not as expansive anymore. We're not as looking at everything with fresh new eyes, but I feel like you are. You're looking at the world with new eyes. And then finally here we have the Ace of Swords. So there's really definitely been a mental breakthrough for you. There has been a breakthrough that has helped you to empower yourself and to rise up. And also be okay with caring for yourself. I think your self-love is up. You may do affirmations. And just going on adventures, whether it's adventures in real life or within books or learning different things, that is an adventure for your mind and your imagination. And people see that. All right, so we're gonna check out your charms. So interestingly, you have, I believe this is Saturn. Saturn is about self-discipline, and there is a Saturn back here. So I don't feel like you're throwing all caution to the wind and you're not disciplined at all, and you're not taking care of your wealth and different things like that. But I think you have your priorities more in order, but you are disciplined, and a lot of you could be looking into astrology or even astronomy and looking into the stars and the vastness of the universe, and just gaining an additional amount of awe of how amazing it is that we ended up here and alive and able to experience these things. And you have this little golden flower. And I'm thinking of the Midas Miser, this gold. It's like you touch this flower and it turns into gold. You make everything more beautiful. And I think that's what people see with you. And then we have this skull with a cap on, a top hat. It's kind of a little bit goofy. So, that could be part of what you're getting into, your humor, your goofy side of, not being afraid to not be serious. You don't have to be serious all the time. And you have the moon again. So being in touch with the moon, with nature, with the cycles of the astrological chart, a lot of you could be getting in touch with that and learning more about yourself and learning more about how those energies affect us down here. Maybe that's something you share on your social media. And we have never give up. So I feel like you've been through rough times and you show people through your social media as well that, there is a reward if you don't give up. And then you have Fe Esperanza Amor. So in love and hope. So I think you are sharing hope with other people. I also, with this cross, it does talk about peace with God and man. And it feels like you are a conduit of bringing into unity the divine and man, humankind, man, woman, whoever, humankind. Then you have the dragonfly, and the dragonfly is a lot about ascension and ascending, and you can see that has happened in your life and gaining new life, gaining new clarity, rising higher, shining brighter. So that is the gossip about your social media pile 2. If that resonated, please comment with a butterfly. Subscribe to my channel if you have not yet. And if you like a personal private reading, you can take a look at my Etsy shop in the description box. And I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day or evening wherever you are in the world. I thank you so much for coming to my channel. Namaste. Hi, pile 3, and welcome to your reading. This reading is, what is it? What is the gossip about your social media? And this is card number 41, Soulmates. So if you chose this card, pile number 3, this is your reading. What is the gossip about your social media? And we're going to get into the charms after we do the cards. First, we have card number 19, Light. I believe that's the sunshine. Looks pretty sunshiny. Then we have the 3 of Swords, heartache and loss. That's like 3 of Swords. And then we have another beautiful light card. Card number 17, Hope, the star. So you have the sun and the star. And the sun is a star, so kind of double sun, The sun of the night and the sun of the day. Maybe you have some suns and they're wanting to come through. So we have Leo and Aquarius. And then we have card number 0, New Beginnings, or the Fool. A lot of major arcana. From the Shine from the Inside, we have Embrace Your Inner Divine Goddess. Then we have Stay Away from Drama Today. Release self-doubt, let go of fear. Be bold, don't be afraid to stand out. From the Archetype deck, we have Hermit. Seek solitude to focus intently on inner life. Serves personal creativity. Shadow is withdraws from society out of fear or negative judgments of others, refusing to help those in need. Then we have Avenger, desire to balance the scales of justice, righteous on behalf of society or oneself. Shadow attribute, resorting to violence in the name of a cause. Next, we have Bully, highlights your tendency to intimidate others, helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. Shadow, conceals deep fears behind verbal or physical abuse. And finally, we have Poet, light attribute, expresses soul insights in symbolic language. Shadow, turns a lyric gift to negative or destructive effect. All right, so what is the gossip about your social media? Okay, I do think with that soulmates card, when people look at you and see you, I think you probably have a lot of people that feel like you're their soulmate. And when I say soulmate, like they have this special divine connection with you. Some people may even say, oh, God said that's the one for me. Even if it's not true, but people do feel like this resonant connection with you, or they would like to have one. Because it seems like, shit, you have the sun and you have the star. You absolutely shine. You shine. You stand out. You have charisma. You have a light from within. You're very bright. You're a very bright individual. And you stand out in a very beautiful way. So it says, embrace your inner divine goddess as well with the sun and light. So people do see you embracing that goddess, that empress. Well, goddess, I think, is even, more highfalutin than empress. And I feel like you're really getting in touch with that energy and flowing with it. And it's causing you to shine. And people are seeing that. I mean, you can't help but see that light from you. And it's interesting, it says inner divine goddess, because the hermit seeks solitude to focus intently on inner life, serves personal creativity. You could be doing, saying things to yourself like, I am a goddess. I shine from the inside. You could actually be like affirming those things to yourself and becoming more and more confident with who you are. You could be surrounding yourself with crystals, with things that shine and have healing energy. And it's just, badao. I mean, people cannot help but see you shine. And at the same time, I feel with the hermit that you're out of reach to a lot of people. And that absence makes the heart grow fonder. I do feel like people put you on a pedestal. You could be, a celebrity, an influencer, not just have social media, because of all of this brightness and people looking up to you, putting you on a pedestal. I also feel like other people see you as this divine goddess, divine god, someone they want to do anything for. I think you could have people like wanting to do stuff for you. Just looking at your social media accounts, it's like, ooh, I like, and he's wearing a cape that's around the world, and I feel around the world. When people see you, they have that sense they want to protect you. They want to go to bat for you. And it does seem like you've pulled away. This says stay away from drama, and then you have heartache and loss. So it's like you would prefer to be alone on an island than to deal with drama. If you have to deal with drama, you're not going to deal with the relationships. You're not going to deal with people. You would prefer to just be there in your own peace, in your own energy, and take care of yourself. Some of you also may have like a blue hair, a purple hair, wear neon colors. things like that, doing like particularly creative things with your aesthetic. But it's like you want your own peace, and people will see what's raw if necessary. I'm sure you have been through some level of heartbreak and stuff like that before and drama, and you're just not having that shit anymore. And actually, you not having that shit anymore is not bringing your vibe down at all. So actually, that's having your vibe raise like crazy with the sun and star. So then with the star energy, that also says hope, and then it says release self-doubt, let go of fear, and highlights your tendency to intimidate others. Helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. So this is telling me that you have gained a lot of healing. Some of you could have gone to therapy or, read self-help books and actually started practicing it, getting into the healing arts. And maybe you are becoming a healer, and in the process of, educating yourself, I think naturally you're a healer, but as you're educating yourself, you've really been getting into the depths of healing you. And that is totally raising your vibe. And I feel like you are no longer allowing yourself to talk down to you. The words that you believe the most are the words that come out of your mouth. Believe it or not. So even if people in the past may have, I do feel like a lot of you may have had those judgments, those heartbreaks, that drama. Maybe you had an awkward period or felt awkward or tried to impress people, just to fit in, just to be accepted. And some of you could have been bullied. There could have been some verbal or physical abuse, as this said. Sorry if that's a trigger for anybody. But you're telling yourself a new story. You're creating a new narrative. You are replacing those negative thoughts, those negative energies, those negative people. Even if they're your family, they have no right to abuse you. They have no right to treat you like dog crap or control you. You are your own person as an adult. And as a child, underage, they don't have the right to abuse or control you. They should be helping you, mentoring you, encouraging you. There is such a thing as discipline, but discipline comes from the word discipleship or teaching. And so there's something I feel like with that coming, I think you have this goddess energy, you may have disciples, followers. Like people are that, really dedicated to you. And if you have not gone out there to be an influencer or to really put your art or your creativity or your business out there yet, it's going to be very, very well received. And you will have disciples, followers, or very dedicated fans, dedicated customers. And I think a lot of what you do will be spread by word of mouth as well, because this is what is the gossip about your social media? And it's really good. It's really good. You could be a poet, or just have very creative speech. Look, she has doves coming out of her mouth. It's your words, because doves are about peace. And also these kind of look like lovebirds because there's two of them. So it's you speak love and you speak peace. Your words are like a healing balm to people. Whether they hear you verbally or if you do it in writing, your words are a healing balm to them. And then you have new beginnings, and that's Fool energy. And this says, be bold. Don't be afraid to stand out. And I think you're doing something very poetic. You know how they say poetic justice? So it's not necessarily only about art, but there's something poetic and fluid you're putting out into the universe. And like the Fool is this youthful person, and usually depicted as a young man, who's just going off on a journey. They're fearless, these sky cliff divers and stuff like that. They're just fearless. They don't even think anything bad can happen. They are in it for the rush. And I feel like you are taking that leap of faith, taking that boldness, and just bringing in that resonance through your person, your voice, your truth, your business, whatever it is. And people get to gossiping about that. And I really feel like people genuinely love you. They just do, from whatever you portray yourself as being through social media. I realize that's not, always our 100% truth, but that is their perception. Then here, do what you love what you do. So there's a lot of love regarding you, and people have that sense that you're doing what you love and you love what you do. And I think that brings that light. It brings that sun, that star, that magic to it. Magic has been a theme here. Then we have I love you. So yeah, people freaking love you. And then we have a little broken pink heart. There is a lot of pink here too. You could have a very pink aura to you. So with pink, that would be red, so it's very grounded, and white, which typically is thought of the crown chakra. So that would speak to me of being very in alignment. And the heart chakra is the bridge between the self and the other, like spirit, other people, compassion. And it's like, that's kind of the color of your aura. It's like that being rooted and grounded, but also being spiritual. And it's very well blended for you. But I do see it says it's heartbreak, and we have heartbreak and loss. So you have had a broken heart, but you know what they say, like a broken vessel, once it's broken, then the light can shine through it. So if there's no, if there's no cracks, if there's no, spaces, no holes in it to see through, you don't see the light either. And I think that light is just pouring, shining from you, even where you've had a broken heart. Then the tree is about life and growth and strength. You could have a connection with trees. Maybe you picture yourself with trees under your trees in nature. Then we have this kitty cat, and this reminds me of like an ancient Egyptian kitty cat, maybe a Siamese, and just having that grace and that swagger about you. Then you have the star again. So yes, you shine like a brilliant star. Then we have the flying horsey, the Pegasus. So it's like you're rising higher and higher. And you know how they say when pigs have wings? And here we can say when horses have wings. So meaning like that crap is never going to happen, but here it is happening. And then imagine. You can go as far as your imagination. You can't go beyond your imagination. But the imagination is the limit, and there's no limit to your imagination. Next we have this key, and this key has a diamond on it. So I think, and look at him holding the key, and she has a little lock on her heart. So I do believe you have a soulmate out there. Either you're with them now, or you have one, you're going to meet them. And it could be someone who will already have seen you on social media, and they're going to have the key to your heart, and they're going to be just this gem, because this is like a diamond here. And also, if you're a masculine, you might be getting your feminine huge diamond, you know what I'm saying? And if you're feminine, you might be receiving a nice huge diamond. So that is what I have for you, pile number 3. If that resonated with you, please comment with, I guess, how about a diamond? And subscribe to my channel if you have not yet. Also, there's yellow. There's a lot of yellow here, so you could have some yellow coloring to your aura as well. This just like talks about a lot of joy. But anyhow, okay, did I say subscribe to my channel? If you would like. And what else is there? Oh yeah, if you would like a personal private reading, take a look at my Etsy shop. That's in the description box. I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day or evening wherever you are in the world. I thank you so much for coming to my channel. Namaste.